So perfect. Now it's being recorded now. Is it? I just want to make sure that is recording. Yes, it is recording now. So, so do you see my screen? Is it right? So my screen is published now. So, and also there is how we can send a file from one computer to another computer using the different routers and using the different routes and to make it safe. So let's imagine that I have one computer, that is my computer, and I want to send it a message or any kind of important information to another computer. It doesn't matter what is the location is. It may be next room, or it can be another like another country or another continent. So the only thing is, I know that we have a lot of routers around. So there is thousands of them. Nobody can say how many routers right now in the world. Actually, maybe like the hundred thousands of them, and they have a everybody's using routers, like in the schools, hospitals, like in the states, counties, countries, and all of them are using routers. We will not dive in what kind of routers we have, because there's a lot of specifications, there's a lot of types of routers, but just keep in mind the idea of the router is to receive the information from you and to send to somebody, just to make the connection between two computers or between two networks. So these networks can be internal or it can be open to the public. So if your company decided to make internal, so you have a different specification. But if you are kind of news reporter, if you have a YouTube, or if you have like the TV station, so you need to be open to the public. So that it has a different configurations, and they are using the routers as well. So that is the router 1, that is router 2 and 3 and 4 and so on and so on. Let's imagine we have that one. So right now, my goal is to send this file to that person. So that is my goal and that is my destination. Okay, that is perfect. But the routers has a limit, so they can receive the file in a certain amount only. So for example, right now you see we are talking to each other. I'm just lecturing to you. So the system is receiving my voice, is receiving my view and sending to your computers. That is perfect. But the router says that, hey, I cannot do that much a lot. So imagine that I have a picture or I have a video which is about like the 1 gig. So, and that needs to be sent to that person very fast, very fast. So how we can do that? Because the router says that, hey, I have a certain limit to do it. So there is a certain limit. I will show you in details just in a second. Let's just say the limit is 1 megabyte only. But how we can do it? So the system says that, hey, I will take this, your file, and I will just make a small pieces. We call it packets. Okay, and they making in small pieces, piece 1, 2, 3, 4. So each piece will be a size of that one. It's not exactly 1 megabyte, but they will make a small pieces and they will send these packets from one computer to another computer using different routers. Okay, so let's imagine that router, they choose to use that way. Okay, and they are going to send. So what they are going to do is they are going to take the first file first. They are going to send this file, and this computer says that, hey, I received first, so I got it. So it is going to send a message to that computer saying that, hey, the first packet was delivered and it was delivered safe. So it will say that, hey, take the second one and take the second one using the same route, send to the person, to that computer, and that computer say that, hey, I received the second one, and that message comes back. So it goes like forward and back many times. Of course, it happens extremely fast, especially right now. If you look like in 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was much more slower. But now it happens immediately because we have a fiber optic. We have a very strong technology right now. Even if you are not realizing like the cell phone, if we are using that, they are doing this operation very fast. And by the way, the iPhone just released the iPhone 12 saying that they have a 5G. And the 5G says that, hey, I can receive a pack with a big amount. It's not 1 megabyte, maybe it's double. So they will say that, hey, I will just split your file in the small pieces, but a little bit in the bigger pieces, and I will send them out. Okay, that is the way of how it works. But the engineering are saying that, hey, is there any way to increase efficiency? So for example, I want to make a live stream in a 4K. Oh, the 4K is a huge file. And you as a listener, as a watcher, you are saying that, hey, I want to watch your Zoom meeting in a 4K as well. So that means this workflow will be very high. So they need to transfer a lot of files. Okay, that is the issue. So right now, this system is saying that, hey, I will make a small packets. Let's imagine I have 1,000 of the packets here, and I will send one pack from here, and I will send another pack from here, and I will send the third pack from here. You see, so all packs are just made in small pieces and sending with the different ways. So this computer is strong enough, and they're saying, hey, I can receive maybe like in the thousands of packets in 1 second, and I give you respond that I receive it. So they are using different ways to deliver the packet to you. So right now, it's old-fashioned technology. They are using one route, but right now there's a lot of routes. First, it's efficiency. It works very fast. The second one, it's security. Imagine that one bad guy is sitting here and trying to steal your documents or the image, but this guy will receive only a couple packets only. And whenever they combine it, it will not make sense because other packets are being sent from another way. So which is positive, and we are so happy. And of course, the technology of the hacking is growing so fast as well. So they can figure out from which way you are sending. But again, it's kind of impossible because right now there's like 100,000 of the different routers right now as of now. I'm not sure if it's a millions, but I can say that is a lot. Even in our school, we have a router. Through our school, we have some information that goes through our school. It's not belong to us, but the person, like imagine that the person from the Holly Spring or from the Cary City wants to send the information to San Francisco. Maybe it passing by our school. We don't know, we don't see it because it's always working. And there is a lot of routers. Perfect. So that was number one. So what we are going to learn today, we are going to learn the Wireshark. Okay, so that is the tool that we are going to learn. Let me just double click. By the way, my screen was showing the green frame, but now it's disappeared. Do you still see my screen? If yes, can you put a thumbs up? Because it was disappeared. I just want to make sure that you see my screen now.
I can see it.
You can see it. That is perfect. Okay, that is amazing. So that is Wireshark. We are going to analyze this tool today. That is just only one of the tools in the market right now, and that is the basic one. Of course, in the market, there is a much more professional tools available, but maybe some of the companies, they are using that one. But it doesn't matter what kind of tools you are using. The only thing is you need to get that understanding that what this tool is doing. How can I analyze the traffic? And how can I see if my file was sent and did I receive the message from that computer saying that yes, I received it, or no, no, I didn't receive. Okay, that is the first issue. Let me just go over here again. So we have different routes as I explained before. Imagine that you are sitting here. Let me just get my pen. Imagine that you are sitting here. That is your, oops, my pen is not working. Ah, okay, so let's imagine that you are sitting in router A and you want to reach to each of the computers. If you want to reach the computer, so the host one is just directly. I don't know why my pen is not working. If you want to reach the host two, so you need to use the route B or C. So you need to go from here to here, and after that from here to here, or you need to go from the C and from the C over here as well. Or if you want to reach the computer 4, what you need to do is you can just directly connect it. So we have a different ways. You see, we have a different routes to get in touch with the computers. You see, even that technology. So So, and also, as you remember, so that wording, if you want, guys, just go ahead. I do advise you to read all of them. So, but I shortly described to how the network is working, how we can send one file to another side using different packets. And also they made a small video. It's about 3 minutes. And guys, please, please, please watch it, guys. You will see, you will enjoy it. And they will explain like how many routes we have and how the file is being sent to the another side. So, here we have general understanding what is the router is. Let me just draw it one more time because we will go just a little bit in the deep. Let's imagine I'm about to send a message. I'm using that route only. I'm just giving a sample one just to give the understanding. So I have my packets. So that is a small packets. Let me just put the 5 of them. And I want to send. So that first is sending. I send to this router and the router sends here. And this computer says that, yes, I receive it. So it comes back to my computer and grabs the second one. Okay, that is good. And also, do you remember that last week you were explaining that each device, they have IP numbers. So I have an IP number and that computer has an IP number. And by saying that computer, we can say maybe that is a server. Maybe that is just a device. Maybe that is any device on the network. Okay, we have an IP number and we have an IP number. Do you remember the IP number that we was working in the last time? So I think it was 172.3. 0, and that is a 6, and that IP of the server is 172.30.0.13. So that is my web server, and that is IP of the PLTW. So that is good. So let's imagine we have a bad guy here. Uh-oh, bad guy here. So what that bad guy is doing? That the bad guy is saying that, hey, I will be sitting here, and I will be sending the small packets. I will be sending small packets not only from this one, so this is going to send as well, okay? And this computer will not understand who is sending me packets because this computer says, hey, I received something, and I will send a message back to you saying that, hey, I received something. And this message comes back to that computer. Now, here we need to use a tool and see that I send a message, I receive a notification that that packet was delivered. But I also see many notifications that packet was received, but it was not sent by me. So that is alarm. So right now we need to do something. Somebody is sending the files saying that I'm sending, but I didn't do that. So right now that is a huge alarm, and we need to kind of stop that guy and saying, hey, I will stop. Do not receive any messages as of now, and so on. That is scenario 1. What about scenario 2? Scenario 2 is, let me just clean a little bit. I will just explain in a different way. So I have a computer 1, I have a computer 2. So that is the sending message from the routers and so on. So we are talking about scenario 2. Do you remember that we were talking about IP? So that has a certain IP. That IP is ending by 6, and that is a certain IP. It ends by 13. I will not like write all of them, but you understand what is going on. But the IP can be changed. So imagine that you are working in the company, you have a server, and you decided to upgrade the server. What you can do is you will just unplug the internet, you will just throw it away and put another server and say that, hey, your IP is 13 now. So my device was changed, but the IP is the same. Oh, okay. What if the bad guy is sitting here? And that bad guy somehow changed the IP himself by 13. So right now, I'm going to send a message, but that guy is going to receive and send it back to me saying that, hey, I received it. I will not be aware that I'm sending my messages to the bad guy, not to the person that it's supposed to go. So here we have a different, so first we have an IP address, and the second we have a MAC address. I think you already know what's the MAC address. The MAC address is just a unique name of the computer. So every single device, maybe we have millions, maybe billions of devices right now in the world, and every single Apple Watch, it has a MAC address. iPhone, so any device that is connected to the internet all of them, they have a MAC addresses. So using that MAC address, I can see that, hey, that is a good guy or a bad guy. So, so we are going to analyze the IP addresses, and we are going to analyze the MAC addresses today using the tool that I'm going to learn. So yeah. And one more thing, before diving to the lab, let me just explain one more thing. Guys, are you with me still? Because I do not see anyone.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you can see me and you can hear me. That is good. And one more thing, guys, using the Windows. Oh, let me just go to the Windows and I will explain here. Let me just close it just for a while. I will open my the terminal. So right now, how can I understand if I'm sending my packets to another computer? So we use it as a ping. Have you heard about that one? So I will say 172, I will say 30. It's why it's not writing. So that's why I don't like the cloud technology. 0.13. So let me just say enter. So I'm not using the tool that we are going to learn today. It's Wireshark. So that tool will be just in a second. So using the simple commands on the Windows, because any Windows has these commands. So right now I send as a default like a regular packet to another computer. I send it to the 172 to the 13, and that package is sending back messages saying that, hey, we have a connection. You sent me the file. I will send back to you that I received. So we have a connection and we can talk to each other. And now you can start sending me files. Okay. So this ping stands for I just want to test if we can communicate to each other. So that is the ping. So let me just introduce the new tool today. So that is the Wireshark, and that is a tool. Personally, I like it. I was enjoying to play around. So that tool says that, hey, your computer has a one connection only. And by saying one connection, that means I have only one port that takes my information, takes it out. So in some servers, you will see they have a couple ports of Ethernet. But my computer right now has only one connection to the internet, and it says that, hey, you have only one Ethernet only, which is okay, which is perfect. So let me run it. I will run. So now it says that, hey, something is going on. You are sending and you are receiving something. So that is the live monitor that I'm doing right now. So that is cool. And let me just type it ICMP. We're going to talk about ICMP not today, later on, but this is one of the ways to monitor that. So it's a kind of port, but don't worry, we will cover it later on. So right now it says that, hey, using the ICMP function, so nothing was sent and nothing was received. So that is good. Let me just ping one more time. I will just put that on the side. I will go open my that ping again. So imagine that I'm sending a small file to another person using that one to see if we have a connection. And from this window, I can monitor if something is happening. So what I can do is I will say ping 172.30 and 13. You see, I'm doing pings right now. Wow. And it says that, hey, something is going on. So somebody is doing something. I mean, like you see, so we have received, we have sent some messages and received back. So let's analyze what is going on. So I hope you are not confused about this page and that page. That is the tool that we are seeing what is going on, but this is just a test. It just, every single Windows, they have this view. So you can just test it on your computers even. So let me just make it a little bit bigger and let's analyze what we have. So here we have, you see, it says that, hey, that 6 is my computer and that 13 is a server. It says that, hey, you send something to the server and the server send a back message to you. Does it make sense? That is from computer to the server and then from the server to the computer. So we have a two-way of communication. And here, do you see, I requested 4 different pings. So I just sent 4 times signals to see if the file, if the connection is working. So it says that you tried one more time and they responded to you. You tried one more time and they responded to you. So that is okay. That is perfect. But if you see, can you imagine that? Do you remember I was telling that we have a bad guy in the network that sent the message to that computer. If you see the message that comes from that computer that have a lot of messages sent, so that is alarm. That is something bad is going on. So that is the number one. So you see, so I can see from which computer it was sent and receive the messages. So you can see the request and reply, and so on and so on. So here, the first one is give the information, the detailed information, what time it was done, and from which computer it was done, and so on. So just keep in mind, you don't have to go in details what is going on, but just have the general understanding that in the first, this option, we can see the details if you need. But in the second one that I like that, it says that what MAC addresses they are using. So that MAC address of my computer and that MAC address from the computer that I'm sending to. So that is the server's MAC address. It's just in case if you are kind of seeing something suspicious, if you see something is bad, going bad, so you have that in records. So yeah, that was the second. So we have a three-part. We have a part one, we have a part two, we have a part three. And what is in part three? We're going to discuss that in unit 4, because that is all about encryptions. Okay. So we have some weird numbers here. We have a 0A, we have a E5, we have some like the symbols over here, and it doesn't make sense maybe, but we will not go in detail now. It will be unit 4, but in order to get like understanding, do you remember that we were talking about if I want to send a file from one computer to another computer, so I'm just splitting in small pieces. Okay, so but is there any structure that I can make it pieces? So we need to make encryption. So I will say, hey, my first piece will be small. My second piece will be a little bit longer, because I don't want my hacks to understand what I'm doing. So for example, I will send hello, that is my password. And instead of hello, I will say, I will convert H to the 2, I will convert the E to the 3, I will convert L to the 1, 1, and O as a 7. And I will send it to this computer, and they will understand what I'm talking. But even if that bad guy, if he will receive that message, he will not understand. So this is all about encryptions. Okay, don't mind. I mean, like, don't like feel yourself that you cannot understand. It's absolutely fine, and we will cover that in unit 4. So that is kind of general the idea of the Wireshark. So I will just do one more step, and we are going to be done for today. So guys, do you remember that we were talking about what if I have one computer, I want to send to another computer, and we have some bad guys here. So right now we are going to play a bad guy. How can I send a message to that person and receive the confirmation to that one? So we are going to run that guy, and that guy will be a Linux today. Uh-oh, something new. So right now it's a small introduction to the Linux. So right now we are going to show, I'm going to show like one of the programs that was run by the Linux, and we are going to pretend to be a bad guy. So let me just close all of them. I will just put that on the side. And there is, it says PuTTY or PuTTY, I don't know. Do you see that one? So that is a PuTTY. So the PuTTY is, right now I'm connected to my Linux, and I will pretend as a bad guy. But that bad guy is saying that, hey, I will be sitting here, that PuTTY, I don't know why they call it PuTTY, it's pretty or PuTTY, I don't know, so whatever it is. It says that, hey, I will steal that IP address which was like the IP address with the 13. I will take this address and put on myself, and I'm going to receive all messages from here. Uh-oh, how we can do that? So right now, what I will say that 172.3 and 13, and it's not typing. Please don't do it for me. It's not typing. So I think I need to restart. I will cross my fingers that it will not disconnect it. It happens, you see, guys. What? No, 2 minutes. Okay, it is connecting now. So let me see if it's typing now. 172. Yes, perfect. 300 and 13. And port 22, because the server has a different ports. Do you remember the port of the SMTP? Who remembers that? The number of the SMTP port.
It was 172.30.0.5 or 2.
Yes, that is IP, but the
Oh,
port for SMTP is a 35, I believe so.
oh,
So today we are going to use the 22. Let me just connect and I'll open. Perfect. So right now I am on my Linux. Guys, keep in mind, Linux is a little bit boring. I mean, like they have a less GUI. They don't have that fancy stuff. So you see, even the Windows, they have a background, they have items over here, so we can see them. But in the Linux, it's a little bit more coding. So the main idea of the Linux, it's not used by regular people. It's for IT guys, for the network guys, for the cybersecurity guys. So mostly we are going to be on the coding stuff. So right now I am on my Linux now. It doesn't look like Linux. I don't see anything, but that is a Linux. So let's see what is the password now is. Let me just go ahead. I will find the password. So if you want, you can read all of them. We just did all of them and we analyzed them. I'm trying to remember yes, the password is a root and the login is a root and the password is a inverse. It's a tour. So let me just go ahead. I will make let me just type it here. Root. I will click. It will ask the password. But do not forget, guys, I was spending much time to figure out how the password is working. Whenever you type the password, it doesn't do anything, but it accepts the password. I was waiting, I was typing, and I was assuming why it's not typing. Just keep in mind, okay? Whenever you type the password, so it's not changing. So I will type to TOOR. You see, I typed, but nothing happened. Enter, and perfect. So right now, I am on my Linux, and I steal the IP of the server. So I'm going to receive the messages from here. So let me just ping to. Now I'm going to ping to that local machine, to my machine. So from the bad guy, I'll send a message to my original machine. And my original machine was 172.30.0, oops, .6. And just in case, for your understanding, let me just show that one. You see, that is our machine, PLTW machine. So right now, from the bad guy, we are going to send a ping to our local machine. And let me just run it and boom. So it is going, you see it? So right now I can see somebody is trying to steal my document. Somebody is getting connected. If I do not run that one, if I minimize it, I cannot see anything and I will assume everything is okay. But somebody connected to my computer and it is from the Linux and I can see what they are doing. I can see what is going on now. Perfect. And do you remember that in the Windows, if we use the ping, it sends only 4 packets? But right now in the Linux, it will send unlimited unless you stop it. So you need to stop it. And in order to stop it, it's a Control-C. It's a Control-C. Let me just click on here, Control-C, and now I stopped. So my request is done. So from here, I can see that, hey, let me just see from which IP. So from that MAC address, somebody tries to get into my computer and they send me these messages, packets, you see? So the idea of this activity is to try to get used to the Wireshark, because later on, whenever we have a real scenario, and we will try to catch those bad guys and just disconnect them somehow. Okay. I know it was a lot. I was, oh, it's almost like in 35 minutes I was talking, but did you understand? Do you have a general idea of what we did so far today? So it was Wireshark. What you need to do is you need to take only one snapshot, that last snapshot. That's it. So just run your Linux, make a ping to local machine, run it, and take the snapshot of the Wireshark and send it to the Scholarship. But to get to that point, so that is a step 31. Let me just go to the 31. You see, you need to take a snapshot in the 31. But if you want to make a like in a deep, you can just go to 32 to the all the way to the 40. Okay, so it shows you how we can, from using the firewall, how can I block that person? How can I block that Linux that it will not going to reach to my computer? But don't worry, guys, we're gonna learn later on. But if you are done with the step 31, you're absolutely done. Just one snapshot whenever you come to the point 31 and submit that in Scholarship, that only that snapshot. And also, guys, can you please make sure that your name is included in your snapshot? Okay. Any questions so far, guys? And yes, guys, do not forget the Wireshark is just a one of the tools. And right now in the market, there's a lot of tools. And of course, like in the professional people like Cisco, IBM, they have a lot. But usually the idea, the concept is the same. Maybe they have some more fancy tools. Maybe they have a more detailed report. Maybe they can show the IP address and plus the country, plus the city and the region. Maybe you see they have more detail, but generally it will be the same. Who has made the request, what time they made it, and did they receive anything yet, and what is the MAC address? Is it PC or it's a Mac or it's a Linux? So who is doing that? And from here you can analyze what is going on. And not the next one, and then later on we are going to make a real scenario, guys. You will enjoy that. You will see somebody's trying to get your documents, and we will catch them and we'll close the port and so on and so on. So yeah, that is all about today's activity. Let me stop recording now.